solving systems of two linear equations by the addition method. Addition or elimination. This method goes by both of those titles, either the addition method or the elimination method. So I'm going to go through some steps of how to do this as we do an example. And the example we're going to do is 2x minus y equals 1 and x plus 2y equals negative 7. So first step is actually done for us. First step is to line up the equations. And what I mean by line them up, put them in standard form. ax plus by equals c. So x, y equals constant. So this one's already done for us. So this step 1 is done. Step 2, so this is the big part of this, the biggest part of the work we have to do on this one. So what we need to do now is get opposite coefficients of one of the variables. So keywords here, opposite coefficients. So opposite meaning one's plus, one's minus. Coefficients meaning the same number. So same number, 1 plus, 1 minus. So looking here, right now nothing is exactly set up right yet. I've got a 2x and a 1x. Here I've got a negative 1 and a positive 2. So at least with the y's are already opposite signs, so let's focus on that. So if I have a 1 and a 2, to get them to be the same, if I multiply the top one by 2, top equation by 2, let's see what happens. Now I'm allowed to do this as long as I do it to both sides. I'll keep the equation balanced. So if we multiply everything by 2, 1, 2, 3 terms here, I'll have 4x minus 2y equals 2. The second one I'm going to bring over, x plus 2y equals negative 7. So let's see if we did what we're supposed to do. We got opposite coefficients of one of the variables. So we did. We got opposite signs, same number for y. Okay, maybe I'll put a little, you put a little mark note next to this step 2. We're doing this by multiplying the equations. Okay, so once I have that, now I can add the equations. So here's where the name of the method comes into play. The addition method, because I'm going to add the equations, and also the elimination, because this is where, in this case, the y's get eliminated. So whatever we get opposite coefficients of, that's where we have something eliminated. So now 4x and x, add those together, that's 5x. Y is gone. 2 plus negative 7 is negative 5. And from there, I can keep going. I'm going to solve for x. Divided by 5, x is negative 1. So that was step 4. So step 4 was to solve for whatever the remaining variable is. Here we go, step 2, step 3. Step 4 is solve for the remaining variable. Okay, so now once I get the x, in this case, the remaining variable, now I have to get the other one. Plug my known variable, plug the known variable into an original equation, to get the other variable. And I want to leave room for my step 6 of a check. Okay, so once I get x, I'm going to plug that into, I'm going to plug it into the second one. Negative 1 plus 2y equals negative 7. It doesn't matter, I could have done the first. I just saw this minus y's might get a little not so nice with the signs. So add 1, 2y equals negative 6, divide by 2, and I get y is negative 3. So negative 1, negative 3. And last, I'll do a check. 2 times negative 1 is negative 1. Minus negative 3 turns into plus 3. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1. negative 1 plus, that'll be a negative 6. Negative 1, negative 6. Yep, that's negative 7. So it worked out. Now one thing let's just start off with another one. We won't solve the whole thing. But I just want to show a little bit of a difference. And I don't think this is going to turn out a nice answer. I'm just kind of making up some stuff. So let's say I've got 3x plus 7y equals 2. And then I've got 5x plus 3y equals 1. So in this one, notice none of the coefficients are the same. They're all positive. So let's say I wanted to get rid of x here. I'm going to have to do something to both of them. So think about, it's kind of like common denominator, 3 and 5. What number could I get to be in front of the x as the coefficient of x? So what I'm going to have to do is multiply the top one by 5, the bottom one by 3. So I get a 15x plus yada 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 15x. Now one of them though is going to have to be negative. So let's say I do the bottom one by a negative 3. So that I get the opposite signs, negative 15 minus 9y equals negative 3. And then go from there. So sometimes we might have to multiply by both of them.